Hello and welcome to today's Members Crystal Ball. Members Crystal Ball. So it looks like we have S. Leela has rejoined, I think that's rejoined. So yeah, greatly appreciate all of the members, of course. So this is a little bit earlier than a normal kind of stream. I'm trying to alternate timings. So we have 6 p.m. GMT at the moment. We'll carry on with a lot of 8 p.m. GMT because I know that works for a lot of people. And we will continue with some more earlier, like noon, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. kind of streams. So yeah, so apologies if it's not the best time for you right now, but I do have to keep alternating as the members grow, just to be mindful of different time zones and different routines and different jobs and things like that, you know. So we'll do our best. If you do have, as always, if you have comments, queries, suggestions, if there really aren't times that work for you and you have a suggestion, you are very welcome to message me. Never feel like you cannot do that. So okay, so today, and hello and welcome. I see we have Jasmine, Jan, Kevin, Miss Venus, and Carolyn. So it's nice. At least we do have a few people rolling in now. So please do like the video. Members streams get less likes because they're only for members, and it still helps to boost us up as we get more likes on any video. So we have spellcasting, oracle. We have druid wisdom. We have spirit animal because it's been a while since we had some spirit animals, and I'm still playing around with the new love cards. I know some of you have had past, present, and future love readings, which is a new stream. So I am really trying my best to do new streams, different streams, and you know, just vary things, make things fun and exciting. Flower readings are coming back this month, quite soon. I've actually posted, I don't know who's seen it yet, let me check if we have had anyone see it yet. I posted only about 20 minutes ago. So I did a streams post, so you can go to the post section or the community section. It should be the first one there. So it's posted 18 minutes ago. So of course we have this stream starting now. But if I do, so I have a couple of things to do. I have to go out for something. I have quite a big reading to do, and then I have a kind of a smaller crystal ball to do in my one-on-one sessions after this. But if there is time later on, and of course it will be late, you know, maybe 10, half 10 GMT, there will be Matchstick or Gateway of Light. So I'm really going to try with that. That's not definite, but I'm going to try my best with that later on. But anyway, even if we don't make that one, I apologise if we don't, but we do have tomorrow. It's going to be quite an early stream of bone reading tomorrow, but it's also possible that there will be a late stream as well. But it's just nice. I like being available earlier times. So if you can't make the early one because you're in like American time zone or something, don't worry, because we will probably do a late one tomorrow, especially if we don't make the late one tonight. There's going to be a crystal ball early on Thursday, so it might be around that noon to 2 p.m. GMT on Thursday. So I do apologise that that's an early one. But on Saturday, we will have goblin reading, and we will have members channeling as well. So we're going to get some, well, goblin tarot, you know, it's tarot, but it's goblin themed. So goblin and bone readings are really going to be a theme this month because we're getting into spooky season. So we are going to do that. But like I said, so the reason I'm doing my best to post as definite as I can with times that I'm getting. But I know it can be a bit annoying that things aren't scheduled as well lately. So I'm doing my best with that. But like I said, if you have any suggestions, like say you keep missing the bone reading, or you keep missing, you know, if there's one type of reading that you keep missing, let me know. Let me know the best time. I know I'm constantly checking in about time zones with some people, and I do apologise for that, but you know, it's difficult to keep track of everybody. So you're very welcome to keep nudging me, Venus. I haven't been on this one yet. Please do it, you know. You're very welcome to do that, so don't worry. Don't be shy, you're very welcome to do that. So I'm going to try to schedule in the week a little bit better as we go. So, but yeah, so we have spellcasting, druid wisdom, love, and spirit animal, because on these streams we tend to, you know, we're mostly doing crystal ball, aren't we? So, but I just wanted to say that because I know not many people will have seen the post yet. So, but it's really nice to see some of you, especially like Jan, who I don't see a lot anymore. So it's always nice to see you guys I don't see too much. But yeah, so we will get to questions, but I just wanted to mention that. If you're missing a kind of stream, if you're missing, you know, something we used to do, please do give me a shout, and we will see that. I know we have some people wanting Starseed and palm reading. Palm reading's difficult because we have to get all the palms and then get everyone ready at the same time. Don't know how we managed that in the past, but it's very difficult now. Feels like we're all a bit busier. So we'll do our best if a lot of you do want that. So, okay, excuse me. So I'm very well. Hope you guys are well. I just wanted to talk about that because, you know, like I said, you know, I'm trying my best to get like a schedule going. It's just one-on-one sessions. You know, sometimes they come, sometimes they need to be prioritized depending on the person or what they're going through. So you do have to bear that in mind. And let's see. So Kevin says I did see the post. Great, wonderful. So you have some people. So it was only posted like 20 minutes ago. So if you're already seeing it, that's really great for the notification issue that we've been having. So and like, but I just kind of repeat this because we don't have everybody in all the time. So if you hear me repeating things, I apologize, but it's just to try to make sure everybody gets the kind of memo. If you are having issues with notifications, untick and then retick the notification bell. It seems to have helped with some people. When they unticked and then reticked the notification bell, they seem to be getting quicker notifications about my posts and streams, not necessarily shorts. I'm playing around with if I do know something is coming up, doing a short about it just before, like saying, guys, I'm coming live, you know, on a short, to see if that gets pushed to some of you guys, and then, you know, you can join. So just playing around with things like that, but that's enough of that. So Carolyn says, may I have a spirit animal? Of course. So begin with the spirit animal, and we have the parrot spirit. The parrot spirit. So the parrot spirit's nice. It's about, so it's watch your words. So the message is watch your words. So it is about being careful with that communication. But the parrot is very, very linked to our throat chakra. To, you know, if you're having issues in communication, like maybe not all the time, but you know, it can be generally, I'm having issues with communication, or it can be I'm having issues with communication with a certain person. We're just not hearing each other. We're just not, you know, we're not getting it. We're kind of just not understanding each other. The parrot can really help with that. If you need to watch your words, if you need to improve communication with someone, especially when you're trying to be careful. You know, sometimes when we work with, we talk in a situation that's quite sensitive, we need to be careful with what we're saying, not trying to come across rude or whatever it might be. So the parrot spirit animal can really help with that. So yeah, tapping into the parrot for any communication issue that's going on at the moment, or maybe just helping your throat chakra a little bit. So Miss Venus says, luckily I could block my time this morning so I could be present. Amazing, that's great. I'm glad. I hope it's not inconvenient, but I'm glad. Ella, hello. Eslila, it's lovely to see you. I think it said you renewed your membership. So I'm really, really grateful, guys, for, you know, members, you know, some of you who've been here for years now. So I really do greatly appreciate that. I'm always thinking of how I can prioritize members and do, you know, if there is something, like I said, like the bone reading, the tarot, the even matchstick, flower reading, anything like that. If you want it to do a members only one, or if you're a heart chakra and you want a heart chakra only one, get in touch, because it is nice. You know, we have quieter streams, it's not quite as busy, and you just get a bit more time. So you're always welcome to say, oh, Venus, you know, I'm heart chakra and I would really love a flower reading. We can always do that. So, but yeah, I'm really, really grateful. I know we used to do a bit more in terms of like sending things out to members, but there's really issues. I should check the post office, but we have great issues with tariff and taxes to the US right now, so it's not really fair on US people. Jan says, what are Caden's thoughts and feelings about me and any intentions? Okay. So the thoughts and feelings, they do feel very minimal. There's still positivity there, you know. I know, it's very repetitive when I look into this, because we are still seeing that connection, that positive energy, all of the things that are kind of ongoing with him. But I think the thing about them are they pushed down? Are they at the forefront? Are they being expressed? And it feels really like they're pushed down. They're very minimal. You know, they're there, but they're kind of like, you know, sometimes it's like, oh, there's a place in my heart for you in the past, you know? That kind of energy, unfortunately. But let's look at intentions. So intentions at the moment do seem to be to keep a bit of distance. There doesn't really seem to want to be a great closeness at the moment. I mean, we still want the open communication channels, which I think, you know, he kind of... At the moment, it seems like he will always want that. But it does really seem like, you know, keeping a distance and not really connecting with you too much, unfortunately. Jasmine says, how are things going with my DV case? Is it aligned with my highest good, or is there still more work that needs to be done? And if so, are my spirits working on it? Okay. So, in terms of work that needs to be done, it does seem like there's still some things going on, like things aligning, things being maybe organized, if you will, like certain energies being put in certain places, certain alignments happening on that path. It doesn't seem totally solidified and set, if you will, but I do feel like the whole purpose of the guides is I want to whatever struggles, whatever challenges, whatever you have to surmount, we do still want to make sure that in whatever way that path goes, you're coming back onto that higher path. So yeah, I feel like some of the alignments are to make sure that happens. So even if we drift off a little bit and something not great happens, we're bringing you back to that higher path. So I feel like that's why I'm seeing these not quite set alignments right now. Miss Venus. O has been kind of keeping to himself these last few days after being more flirty with me last week. What is going on with him? Why is this? Okay. Unfortunately, there is kind of a bit of deflated energy. Like, it does feel a little bit like, am I giving up with this? Am I still chasing this? Am I, you know, it's I would say a little bit of contemplation on that, but feeling a little bit deflated about the connection, which it's interesting in a sense because he could always put in a bit more effort in terms of, well, keeping up communication, of course, but in terms of arranging something, planning something, you know, he could be forward with that and he could just kind of put that out there. So I think it's kind of interesting that this deflated energy is coming around it, although he's at fault too, if that makes sense, you know, for not kind of pushing things enough, if you will. But I still feel like, I don't necessarily feel like the feelings for you have changed, but it kind of feels like the hope around the situation is dwindling a little bit, which is unfortunate. So yeah, like I said, it's kind of interesting to see because he could help it himself. I'm just going to turn that music up a little bit. It seems a little bit. Oh, it's on 100. Is that right? Let's see. That might be better. Okay. So Kevin says, would doing an executive MBA through online or hybrid mode after getting 3 or more years of experience be better than doing a master's abroad? What is the energy like? Okay. So doing this through online or hybrid after getting 3 or more years of experience and then the master's abroad. So we're looking at the comparison between these two, okay? So they're both coming through with quite a high energy, but the Masters Abroad has a slightly higher energy. It does have a slightly higher energy. Jan, whenever Caden texts, what will he say? And when will he text me, okay? So really at the moment it's looking kind of like around 2 weeks. So it isn't looking like the best shortest time frame at the moment. But again, this looks kind of similar where we're seeing quite a casual thing, like how are you doing, or want to hang out, or something that's very casual. It's coming up, which is quite common with him, kind of coming back like nothing happened in a sense, Miss Venus says always thoughts and feelings for me. Okay. Yeah, so I just wanted to look a bit deeper into that, but it is kind of resonating with what I said before, where the feelings are positive. Like there's still that attraction there. There's still like a deep care energy. There's still attraction in the sense of like, a magnetic attraction and a physical attraction, like those kind of the shallow side and then the deeper level kind of thing. I still see it, but like I said, it's like the feelings and emotions are still there. They're kind of the same, but it's like the energy around the actual situation, like us going out, things progressing with us in the connection, is kind of deflated, but the feelings for you as a person, the attraction to you, is the same. It seems the same. Jan says oh sorry, I did that one. Leela, someone sent me a gift. Is it someone from the workplace, or maybe Adrian, or someone else? Okay. Okay, so it's interesting because it's coming through family. There's some level of family connection there that's coming through. So that's interesting. It's not one of the options you mentioned. Jasmine says, all the recent visa spells I did working on Randall and the court system, okay? Yeah, there does seem to be some effect of these energies. So I'm seeing some effect of these energies coming through. And Leela says Adrian's feelings towards me, okay? There's a little bit of something there that's kind of like upset or concern or misunderstanding with something, but there is positive emotions. There is, like a care energy, like a friendly energy, like a friendly energy, I would say. Like there is positive energies there, but there's a little something that's not great, that's maybe on the back of the mind or something, but there is a lot. Like the positive energies are stronger, if that makes sense, but there's a little something in the back of the mind. Kevin says, what are Tanya's current feelings and thoughts about A? Is it becoming romantic? Okay. So I would say that there's kind of hints, glimmers, very small moments of feeling some level of attraction, but I really wouldn't... I don't feel like it's romantic in the sense of any kind of deep energy or thinking of pursuing anything at this time. It seems almost like it's very small. Like maybe it could progress to that, maybe it's something you want to keep a check on, but it seems almost something like it comes to the mind and then it's like, brushed off kind of energy. Ella says, could I please ask you updated feelings of Andrea towards me and current intentions? Okay. Okay, so the best way I can describe this, because we have been, continuing to look at it, which is good, there does seem to be like an upward trajectory coming, although at the moment it does seem like little small steps going up, if you will. It does seem positive. It's like gradual, it looks gradual. I feel like this could increase. I feel like the pace could increase, you know, the upward pace. I do feel like it could increase. At the moment it just looks quite small, gradual, but it does look good. It's positive. It's like the positivity is increasing, and those kind of guilt feelings and kind of deflated lower energy surrounding it are kind of releasing. I feel like they're still there a little bit, but they do feel like they're releasing. So I would say, although it's small, it's on a positive trajectory right now. So definitely something to keep looking at, I would say. And current intentions, let's look at intentions. I do feel like there's intentions for fixing. There's intentions for reconciling, fixing, working through things. I'm seeing that, so that's nice. Damini, hello and welcome. And Damini says hello everybody as well. Very nice to see you. Kevin, what are Tanya's thoughts and feelings for me? Okay. So I definitely do see them as highly positive, but I do see them kind of like on a friendly level, you know? Jan says, when will Caden and Em cut ties? Okay. The prominence of this is rarely lessened. It rarely doesn't seem very prominent. So I don't feel like I could give a date. I feel it's almost like there's still a possibility of it, but it's a small possibility, unfortunately. Carolyn, does Christopher want me to lose weight? Okay. So I see two sides to it. So I don't see wanting you specifically to lose weight, but we do get this kind of preference. It would be a preference, you know, but it's not like a conscious thought like I want you to be slimmer, you know. But just, you know, just seeing those two things, you know, and you know, I'm really supportive of weight loss journeys and everything like that. You know, I'm kind of on one myself. I think a lot of people in here are, but I think that there should always be a level of doing it for yourself as well, you know. So card of your choice for Damini. Okay, let's do Druid Wisdom. I like them a lot. So you can see the Standing Stone image that we have, and it says, oh, that almost actually got in focus. Trust the journey. You once wished to be where you're standing in life now. Look back and reflect on the journey you travelled, how far your heart has carried you through. Hug an oak tree and it will grant you your deepest wish. Oh, I might go find an oak tree myself. So, yeah, I think it's an important message that, you know, sometimes because we're constantly striving for the next thing or the further improvement, which is good. I know I don't discount that. I think we should do that, but sometimes we forget to stop and look back and think, I've come so far, I've done so well, let's be proud of myself for the improvements I made, but then keep making them, you know. Ella, spirit animal, yes. So we have bee. You have the bee spirit. Oh, I had a bee in my room the other day. I had to let it out the window. Very chubby, very cute bee. So, bee spirit, sweet results await. So, yeah, it's like getting that honey. Getting that, you know, honey is like the reward, the sweetness, something you really want. And it's interesting as well, you drawing this, because a lot of us have, like, we all want, you know, love and money and all of the positive things in life. But a lot of the time we have, like, one that's at the forefront, one that we're really focusing on at the moment. And honey does link a little bit more to the love path. As we know, we use it in sweetening spells for emotions, you know, emotions specifically. So it does link a little bit more to the sweet results awaiting of the love, the emotion, the positive connections with people. So that's interesting for you to get that as well, because it's nice and affirmative. But yeah, the bee totem animal. It's always nice to know which totem animal we could work with, and maybe is this the end of its life, or is it fixable? Is there anything spiritual going on behind, and if so, what? Okay. So it certainly does feel like there is a digression, if that's the right word, here. Well, I do feel like there's less and less a bit possibility for really getting it to a good level, to a good state. So I do feel like it could be, coming towards the end, unfortunately. But let's look at anything spiritual here. So I do feel like there's some symbolism in terms of leaving things in the past, releasing things, leaving things behind. Sometimes when we think, we don't always think, so we buy something new for ourselves, sometimes we think, oh, I'm very shallow buying this for myself. It's like the more, tapping into those more earthly 3D energies. But we don't think that there can be a spiritual link to it in terms of when we throw something out that we had for ages, it can be a symbol of releasing things from the past, and when we bring something new in, it can be like, I'm ready for new refreshed energies. So you can always have like spiritual levels and spiritual symbols to anything that you do in life, but I do feel like it's more a symbol of the end of things that you're leaving in the past, as opposed to anything like you've had an attack or there's been something negative on that to cause you harm, if that makes sense, in a spiritual sense anyway. Jan says, what is his most recent thought of me? Okay. So there does seem to be, it's like, I think it's playing a game. It could be watching a movie, but I think it's playing a game. And it's something that was done with you, and it's like a memory of that, like when we did that together. It's that kind of memory. Miss Venus, timeline for soulmate meeting and prominence, please. Are there any blockages at the moment for us meeting, okay? Okay, so it feels like, first to look at blocks, so I don't really feel any blocks, like in terms of blocks on the path or things like that, but I do, there's kind of this, it's a positive energy of boundaries that you have, like boundaries, gods, or that kind of energy, but it just seems a little bit like, it's a bit too strong. It's a bit like, I'm so guarded that I might guard against the wrong thing. That could be subconscious, that could be spiritual. You might not, consciously be like, I have all these gods, or it could be a little bit subconscious, but I would say just softening around the heart chakra a little bit, or like releasing those gods just a little bit. It's very good to have them. It's great, in terms of boundaries, it's very positive, so don't think I'm saying it's not, but I think sometimes there's a balance in everything, isn't there? So we want the heart chakra to be balanced. We want any boundaries, any gods, any protection that we have to be balanced. We want to be protected, but not so shielded that nothing can come through. So I hope that makes sense. Just a bit of balancing like that. But we're looking at timeline. Sorry. I knew there was something else. Timeline. So it feels within this imminent energy. So you could come across each other's paths pretty soon. There could be some indication of this person, some meeting, some message, something like that, pretty soon. Maybe there's already been some level of interaction, like you've seen each other somewhere, there's been something, I feel, because it's very in the imminent kind of chapter, vicinity. I keep using that word. I think I'm using it right. Vicinity. So, but yeah. So I would say, I mean, it feels imminent, but let's kind of say a few weeks. Let's say like a few weeks as our kind of time frame at the moment, because it feels like it could be like today, tomorrow. But I would say let's say a few weeks. We can keep a check on that, because with there not being any kind of real block with that. It could just be letting making sure you do let them in when they come through, if that makes sense. Kevin says, why does Tanya send reels to A and not me? Why does she spend more time with him than me? Okay. Yeah, I definitely feel like there's kind of a recognition of more compatibility. Like, I do feel like there's a recognition that maybe I get on with this person a little bit better, and we're more the same, maybe, you know, I think the same, like, we resonate, we have more of the same interests, or more of the same, interests, I would say, or what do you call, sense of humour, you know, things like that. Miss Venus, where will I meet this new soulmate? Okay. So I still really feeling like the first communication is online. There could be something like they're brushing past you in you know, and then they see you online and they're like, oh, that's that person I saw. You know, I do feel like there could be some level of in-person interaction, or just seeing each other, or him seeing you, you know. But ultimately, first communication does seem to be online. Jan says, I was cleaning up my server list and browsing the morning of the 24th. Noticed M's alt was online. Did Caden block her main account, or is she using this alt to flirt with other guys for attention due to her crashing out over things with Caden not going well? So we're looking at like what that account is used for, I think. Is that the question? Did Caden block her main account? Let's get a no on that. Is she using this alt account to flirt with other guys for attention? Okay. It doesn't look so much in use. It doesn't look like it's in use a lot. But yes, I would say flirting does come through on that. Kevin says, when do you see me meeting A again? Any time frame and percentage. Okay. I feel like November's most prominent, but the prominence is still pretty low. So November does seem the most prominent, but the prominence is maybe 30%, you know, at a push. Jasmine says, is Ross still desiring to work with me and my financial difficulties? Yes, it seems like intricate process, like, you know, like it's not going to be a quick thing, it's going to be a long term kind of intricate process. Kevin, what are Rashana's, if I'm saying that correctly, true thoughts and feelings for me? I felt like she was trying to flirt and being a little too touchy with me in class. Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit of attraction there. I do feel a little bit of attraction. Jan, we saw last time that Emma's increasingly paranoid and jealous and unstable. Why is this? Does she think that he is still in communication and hangs out with me still? So there definitely is some thought about this sometimes. It definitely does cross through her mind. I mean, I do feel like there's kind of like, I feel like there's a bit of jealousy of like, maybe if there's other girls, like not just you. I do feel like that does come through. And yeah, I don't want to say controlling because I think that's a very strong word, but I do feel like there's kind of a, you know, really wanting to kind of police and know what's going on a lot, you know. Maya, hello and welcome. And Kita, very nice to catch you when I'm on. I'm so glad you were notified. Maya says Druid Wisdom, yes, of course. So there's the little landscape, or, well, I don't know if you call it a landscape, but... secret gnomes! Deep in the Welsh forest, gnomes peek out from the groves of their secret space. They cheer gleefully whilst you walk with determined, passionate pace. Carry a seraphonite crystal to help guide you along your spiritual journey, and contact nature spirits. So the nature spirits, if you're wanting to tap into maybe those earth elementals, Seraphonite. So I'll show it just in case you, because I'm not 100% on it. Like it doesn't come to my mind straight away. Maybe I have seen it before. Can you see the spelling of that? I don't know if it's in focus. Seraphonite, can you see it? If you want me to spell it, I will do that. Okay. Ankita says, how does A feel after what happened today? Okay. So I'm actually getting a little bit of kind of a nonchalant kind of energy. Like it seems quite neutral. It seems kind of like not, I wouldn't say not caring, but I would say, yeah, not overly, yeah, you know, like not really thinking about it, not being too concerned, not caring too much. Seems pretty neutral. I don't think it's negative, but I just think it's just being a little bit passive, a little bit chilled out, maybe the right word to use. Like not too not overthinking, not, you know, just kind of it's okay, it's neutral kind of energy. Maya says spirit animal. Oh, you got starfish spirit. Open to infinite possibilities. So if you think about the starfish spirit, we do have starfish where you can cut their limbs and they grow back. So when you think of that kind of energy, that's that kind of energy you want. Like if you feel like a path has been blocked from you or cut away from you, or someone's been cut away from you, or something has been cut away from you, like something has been kind of blocked, or you're unable to go down that route, or, you know, whatever it might be, or yeah, like go down that route. I'm just finding it difficult to explain, but we can tap into the spirit animal of the starfish for that kind of energy of like, I'm regrowing something, maybe you're especially if you want the same outcome, but you're trying from a different perspective. So sometimes we get blocked on a path to a desire or a manifestation, and the starfish spirit can really help with if you still want that specific desire, but you need a way to go around it. You need a way to get it a different way, if that makes sense. So you've tried to manifest something that hasn't worked out in the way you wanted. You know, my kind of example, if it's easier to understand, would be like my work. So when I did this work in person, I wasn't able to do it as a full-time job, because of course you have less reach. You're just working with the people close to you. But when you work online, you're still getting the same manifestation of doing what you want full time, but you're going about it a different way, you know, in person, online, you know. So that's my example. But it doesn't have to be used for a job. It can be used for a love path or a relationship that isn't a love path. Any kind of path that you know, something you're trying to get to. The starfish spirit can help with that. So Ankita says, why is Monu ignoring me? When will he come to talk? Okay, so apologies if I, like I said, pronouncing names wrong. I greatly apologise for that. But why? Why is he ignoring you, and when will he come to talk? Okay. There's definitely a fed up energy. I rarely do get the energy of being fed up. I'm not really wanting to deal with things, not really wanting to, it feels like deflated energy, like really feeling a bit maybe drained a little bit, and kind of wanting to focus on other connections, other things, kind of, it's almost like pushing the emotions and energy and connection to you down, if you will. But when will he come to talk? Let's see that, because I do feel like that's a possibility. I feel like a week, maybe week and a half is a good time frame there. How that looks. Spellcasting for Maya, of course. Confidence. So you have confidence. So, you know, sometimes the cards can be affirmation of something. You know, if your confidence is a really positive trait that you have, it's like keep that part of yourself really, or tap into that part of yourself. Sometimes we have confidence, but we don't have the reason to use it, you know? Maybe we're not in the job where we need to use it, or we're not in a maybe we're taking the passenger seat for a little while. But no, you need to tap into your more maybe leadership energy, maybe, you know, being a bit more forefront, standing for what you believe in, having your confidence at the forefront. The confidence needs to come through at this time. So it could be that you have it and it's just to tap into it a bit more. But if you don't have it, maybe focus on your solar plexus chakra a little bit to increase confidence levels, or your ability to be confident, because we all have it. We all have the ability to be confident. We just don't all practice it, if you will. Ankita, did Em remove me as a follower by accident? How does she feel after I text her happy birthday? Okay. So unfortunately, I'm not guessing that it was an accident, unfortunately. And I do feel kind of like, I feel like the message, it made a bit of guilt. It did make a little bit of guilt come up. So that's interesting as well. Kevin, now that I have changed my phone, how do you see the hacking and the account access issue situation now? Do they still have some type of access? There seems to be a possibility surrounding email. Email is coming through as a possibility there, but the energy definitely seems less prominent. We can keep a check on that. Hopefully they don't access that. Hopefully it's left alone, you know. Jasmine, which way was my business's starting process attracting more attention? The way I was setting it up without ChatGPT or with ChatGPT? Okay. So I'm guessing we're without for this. So I wouldn't say like I'm discouraging use from it, but for this I am getting without. I'm sure there are some ways in which it can help and in which you can use it, but I am getting without for that. And it depends on what you're doing there as well, because, you know, sometimes with for people to find you or things in search, if things are notably made from AI, they can go to the bottom of the search, if that makes sense. So it could be that. Jan says, when will they actually start to distance? Or has Caden still been doing like one day he talks to her, next day he ignores her? Yeah, it does seem up and down. But it seems like mostly up, unfortunately. Maya says a love card for the person I'm thinking about. Oh, put yourself first. Loving yourself makes you more romantically attractive. So that, I think that ties in with the confidence one as well. So, you know, maybe showing your confidence and showing how kind of strong you are or positive you are, you know, or that you're proud of your positive traits, if that makes sense, may attract this person, and this person may be attracted to your confidence and self-love, you know. Miss Venus says, who or what were the avian beings I saw in the dream, the one I told you about? Did my mind misinterpret or painted them in a different way than how they truly are in reality? Okay. No, so we are getting negatives that split off from the positive Lyrans. So we are getting that. It does seem to be linked, seem to have some kind of Lyran connection at least. But there is like a split off, like negative, like you are feeling. So I do feel like you know, your emotion was the most important part in the dream. It was kind of like intuition, you know? So I do feel that. Maya, oh sorry, no. Yeah, Maya. What do Matthias Leonardo think of me? I don't like him. He's mean. Oh, is he mean? Yeah, it's interesting because there's like attraction to you, but there's some level of irritation, like feeling irritated by something about you, unfortunately, which, you know, that does happen. And we get a lot of trolls in the chat that get irritated by me, so I can resonate with that. Kevin says chakra card. They're not here, but I think they are within reach, so give me one moment. Okay, so yeah, so I have the chakra cards now if anybody else would like one. Where to put them though? Where to put them? Maybe they go. Maybe put them. So, I just wanted to say. So, Kevin, I will pull you the card, but I just wanted to say, would anybody here, if you have had a bone reading, then maybe not you right now. But would there be anybody? Oh no, sorry, not bone reading. No, forget that. Forget what I just said. Scratch that from the record. Would anybody be interested in activation of light or matchstick divination? After this stream, in a while, like maybe 2 hours after the stream. I'm thinking activation of light might be better because matchsticks, you know, it's not, you know, it's like crystal ball but not quite as good. So it's like having it after crystal ball, maybe not the best time to do it. So activation of light might be better. Gateway of light activation. I keep saying that wrong. So sorry, but chakra card for Kevin. Sorry, just why I have some of you here. So confusion, and we have crown chakra. So you have confusion. So, but you have the guide there as well. So what this is representing is that there is some level of confusion around your crown chakra at the moment. So that could be connection to your higher self or connection to your spirit guides. But there is some level of confusion with the messages that you are receiving. So you might not be fully decoding them properly or getting the exact right message. So you do need to focus a little bit on your crown chakra if you want to really get those messages come through properly. You know, and that doesn't mean that all of the messages might be misinterpreted, but some of them might be, you know. Is anybody else getting a lot of ads pop up? Because I feel like once YouTube monetizes you, the default is like moderate amount of ads, which is what I have. I've never clicked to do like tons, and I'm getting loads. Like when I'm trying to read a message, and ads popping up on top of it, and I'm like, I want to read the message, so I don't know what's going on there. Jan says, why does Caden want distance from me at the moment? Okay. It just kind of feels like he knows that he's kind of choosing that path. He's swaying onto that path with her, and he's kind of, it's almost like wanting, although there is some confusion and there is kind of like, there's still some confusion and still some indecision, I certainly would say, but it does feel like he's trying to make that decision. He's trying to go down that one path, you know? Maureen, well, me and Sophia will be good friends as we were before soon, okay? Yes, I do see like a reconciliation and friendship here. Jasmine says, has Randall finally settled on our son living with me? I feel like there's some not being completely okay with it, but I would say for the most part, I feel like there's kind of agreeing with it, but in the back of the mind being kind of like, I'm not sure. It's not really what I truly want. So it's almost like a little bit of, there's complexity because there's a yes and a no there, but it feels mostly like a yes. So they could be coming around. Sorry for my coughing. Maya, chakra. So you have the root chakra, of course, or red is the root chakra. Might look orange on the camera, but it is red. So discovery. We have discovery. So discovery with the root chakra, but we see the guides there as well. So you might be being guided onto your best path in the physical sense. So things that you're physically trying to manifest might start to come through. We can see we have like the growth of the flowers, the physical things in the dirt, you know, reaping the harvest of what you've sown, or the plants that you've planted being growing, you know, blooming, blossoming, whatever you will. But it's a really positive message for physical manifestations in the physical realm, but being aligned with the spiritual path. And that's really what we want. There's nothing wrong with physical manifestations and wanting physical things, but we want it to align with our spiritual path, and that's what we're seeing here, so that's very positive. But if you do want to focus on a certain chakra, the root chakra is coming through for you at the moment. Jan says, bear with me. Are my affirmations doing anything at the moment? Do they have energy behind them? I've been saying some over reconciliation and to maintain the path with Caden, okay? It does feel like there's a very low energy at the moment. It does feel a little bit like it's being overshadowed, you know? Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say. It's not like there's no energy to them, but it just feels like they're so minimal. Maya, why Samuel sometimes ignores me, okay? There's a feeling like he's not getting what he wants, and a kind of a deflating feeling, like not really getting what I want, so I'm just going to kind of step back, if that makes sense. Try something else. Miss Venus, was that dream a past life, a current experience in a different dimension, or a future premonition? Technically, they're all happening at one time now. Yes, absolutely. Like, I agree with you on that level, but I think here in the physical realm, I think it's perfectly okay to do our linear time frame of things. It helps us in this realm how we perceive things. It helps us to organize things. It's really positive to be someone who's like gotten to that point where you understand time as one thing, one fell swoop. It's grown, if you will, to get to that point where you're kind of understanding of that. But yeah, it's definitely easier for us in this realm to organise things like that. So but anyway, just my little chat on that, but let's look into that. So, the dream, okay. Yeah, so it feels like a past. So it is a past life experience. It is past in this linear time frame, but well, it's like you're integrating these things from your past. So you're having the vision of the lifetime where you are integrating the things from your past, and what's going on there is there's important lessons and things from that past life that you do need to bring forward and think about and integrate as well. On a spiritual level, but maybe also on an emotional level, and yeah, like an emotional level, maybe a physical level, if you go through something similar on a smaller scale, or like you say, in a different dimension maybe, but yeah, you're integrating something from that past life right now, which is why you're kind of being drawn to it. Kevin, did Path tell A that I said that A seems less attractive nowadays? If so, how did A think and feel about that? Okay. I get a yes, and I do get taking a slight offence to it. Not too much, but taking a slight offence to that. Maya, how does Anna Sophia feel because we are not friends anymore? There's definitely a bit of a gap missing. It does feel like, you know, there's missing you, and there's a bit of a gap. Like, I kind of want to get that back. There is definitely a place for you that, you know, I feel like there's hope for things to come back together at some point, but I feel also like in her mind she's not really envisioning how that will play out. Like, is it you reaching out? Is it her reaching out? You know, how does it play out? There isn't like a full process of that. It's just kind of like, it would be nice eventually. Jan says it's Caden getting more fed up with M due to her increasingly pushing and feeling entitled to his time and energy, or what are his thoughts on this? Okay. So there definitely is an energy of it can be too draining sometimes because there is like there's a needy and clingy energy, which of course he recognizes, and I feel like he definitely does feel fed up about that at times, but for the majority of the time it feels positive, but there are those times where it's like, I need a break, and I definitely feel that. S. Leela, when will the relationship with my daughter improve? Okay. So actually seeing like a slow and steady progression and trajectory of that, or over maybe it could be like up to 9-12 months where we're seeing that progression, but it seems quite slow, but it does seem to get there. Jasmine says, what can I actively do to make myself look like a strong parent to the court system so I don't lose my custodial rights? Okay. So we're all kind of getting energy of taking it. It seems like it's almost like a laid out path that you're kind of needing to follow. So it could be like advice from, you know, like a legal representative type person. It could be taking their advice to like a T, if that makes sense. Making sure you do kind of step, because it's almost like there's footsteps laid out in front of you, and you're being guided to take that advice and do it exactly, if that makes sense. Do it exactly as it's laid out. But I do feel like there's, you know, there's a lot of energy around like communication, like calm levels of communication, very minimal levels of communication. So I would say that this would be with Randall, or maybe even in any official like court proceedings where maybe we would want to speak up a little bit, maybe raise our voice a little bit, maybe lash out a little bit, or throw around kind of not necessarily throw around accusations, because I think accusations can be very valid, but you get the kind of energy that I mean. Like, it's a calm energy of the communication, keeping the communication to a very minimal, being very calm with it. But I would definitely say that there's a following step by step of some kind of advice. So if that resonates, like you've already been given the advice from the legal representative, then I would certainly definitely follow that. But I feel like there isn't too much that you need to do, because as long as you're keeping your cool and following the correct advice from the correct people, if that makes sense, it doesn't feel like there's too much that you need to do. It feels like you have done actions. Yeah, you've done actions, you've said things, you've done actions that already do represent the kind of person that you are, like in your past, with your children of the past, you know, and it does feel kind of like positive. Like, it feels like there's positive energy around that. So if anything I've said there, if you want to delve in a bit deeper and ask more deeply about that, you're very welcome to. But if that kind of resonates, if it resonates already with that path that I'm seeing, then that's great. But if it doesn't, you might just seek the advice a little bit more of that legal representative, or whoever you have correspondence with, that you're able to, because it does seem like there's something that you need to follow, that someone has said, but they're in an official position. It's not like the advice of a friend or, you know, a family member, so just bear that in mind. There's definitely a legal energy around this person, or official energy around this person. So Maya says, which feelings does Samuel Aries for me? Okay. There's still love and care energy, there's still attraction, that energy is there, but it's just kind of like, there's a hopelessness of there's a hopelessness of it manifesting to anything, you know? There's kind of a hopelessness that anything will come of it. Jan says, what will be the cause of them cutting ties? Is it Em moving on, finding some other guy to give her attention, or will it be due to Caden having enough and wanting to go down the path with me? So it looks mostly like if there was to be an end to this connection, it does look mostly like it is due to, because don't forget, it's not like Kaizen acts a certain way with you and then like with Emmy he's totally fixed. It's not like that. So if they, you know, as they progress through their relationship, he's still going to have those other aspects of him that are, you know, going into hermit mode or being a little bit, you know, low mood, low emotional energy. He's still going to have those other aspects to him, and I do feel like it won't be enough for her down the line if he does continue that, and being with her isn't going to immediately fix him. So unless he's working strongly on himself on the side as well, it does seem like eventually she will drift away because of that, but I don't really see that being soon. Maya, is Samuel Aries spying on you? Get a no on that. Miss Venus, what is causing this deflated energy? Okay. It's feels a little bit like he's feeling like things should have happened by now. You know, if anything was to happen, it would have happened by now. Maybe this, maybe she's not feeling how I think she's feeling. Maybe she's not feeling to the level that I'm feeling it. It does kind of feel like a little bit is contemplating you know, not how serious you are at this point, but like not how serious you are in terms of like she has to want to get married. I'm not talking like that, but I mean serious about really actually building something. Like, is there other guys? Am I just like kind of an option? Like, how serious is this? And if we haven't really gotten anywhere yet, is there much point? It's kind of that kind of feeling. Jan, when will we have our first deep convo about the future? Okay. I'm really sorry that I'm just not seeing that at the moment. I am really sorry. It just seems like the way the path is manifesting at the moment, it's not really a prominent thing, unfortunately. But of course, it's something to check back on. This could change. Maya, why my mother Cecilia is talking to me more? Because she feels alone since her dog died. She barely communicated with me. Okay. Yes, so you are correct about the feeling alone since the dog passed, but it's not just that. There's kind of this energy of like that realization we have when someone does pass, whether they're a pet or, you know, a friend or whoever it might be. That realization we have when someone passes, it's not just that they're gone so we feel alone. We kind of realize how fragile life is and how that will happen to everyone. And of course, you know, there's kind of like, oh, that will also happen to her, and we don't, you know, communicate that much. I need to reel that back in. So it's not just about loneliness, there's deeper emotions there, you know, towards you as well. Kevin, I feel good about the SAP career path which I'm going through in Capgemini right now. Do you see me getting that high level of abundance I desire with this? And if so, in which year can I expect this? Okay. So I do get yes, but I feel like that abundant kind of energy from you would be like maybe around 2030, 2031, something along those lines. Maya, how can I do so my brother Raul is more near to me? We live in different countries and he's introverted. Okay. Yeah, so I'm definitely feeling the introverted energy. So it does feel a little bit like you just kind of have to be the one that pushes for that. So, you know, pushing for video calls, just really... it's unfortunate, but in some connections and some relationships, especially with family, sometimes we do have to be the one that's kind of reaching out and pushing for things and being the one that organises plans and, you know, things like that. It doesn't mean that they don't want to do that, but some people, I suppose... some people have the ability to open themselves up and come out of that introvert energy, but not everybody does it. So it does really feel like you're just the one that's kind of pushing for things at the moment. So pushing for more pushing for more video calls. Maybe I was thinking like FaceTime, video calls. Pushing for more just chatting as much as you can, and you would be the one to arrange trips, even if it's, you know, book this flight, you know, send him a link to book a flight. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to go there, but you might have to be the one who's organising, you know. And I have been that one in my family before. Jasmine says, I know I've asked this question multiple times, but can we check again? Randall wants to pick up and drop off our son off to school. Should I allow him? I'm really worried still if this is the right decision. Okay. So I'm getting a yes on this, actually. Jan says, when will I feel better about things with Caden? It feels like a few months. Miss Venus, yes, and I don't want to force things either. I've already told him and he said he was going to see dates but never got back to me. Why is this? Why is he lying? What is his hesitation about? Okay. So it does still feel like there's intention to pick dates, to look at dates. So I mean, I do feel that he's lying in a sense because, you know, he should have done it. But I also do feel like there is intention to do that. But there's definitely like a dragging my feet, like not being super, not being in any kind of rush. And I'm not saying he should be in a rush, but I definitely feel like he's dragging his feet too much and I feel like he should put more in. It's almost like he should put more in, but he feels a little bit like you should put more in. Not that you should put more in, but he feels a little bit like if you did put more in, he would feel a bit more relaxed about the fact that you're a bit more serious. Like I said, that like kind of, is she kind of serious kind of energy. But yeah, I feel like it's not lying as such because I do feel like there's intention to do it, but I just feel like his slow energy around it and not really taking the initiative and things like that. I just think for me it would deflate me. So it's almost like he feels like you're doing it so he feels deflated, and then you feel like he's doing it so you feel deflated. It's kind of like you're both. It's almost in the sense like you're mirroring each other a little bit without realising it. So there's times when you both put a lot of energy into it and it's good, but then there's times when you both pull away and you both question the other person, like, what do they really want? Are they really into this? You are mirroring each other a little bit in that sense. And I feel like that's not the best course of action for things to just happen, if that makes sense. So I do feel like... I mean, if you know, I agree with like your uncertainty about it, because I would feel like if someone's not putting that much forwardness and attention towards me, then they're not for me. I kind of do like someone who's quite decisive, you know. Maya. Will Carissa notice soon that Samuel is not a good person? Yes, I do get a yes on that. Eslila, will Adrian contact me soon? Yeah, I mean, I do feel like it will be like tomorrow or like, you know, like the next day perhaps, but I do feel like it's not going to be too distant future. A card of my choice for Kevin. Let's do love. Let's pull you a love card. Reconciliation, okay. So someone from your past is or will be returning to your life soon. So there is a possibility of someone... So reconciliation doesn't always mean, when we get that card, doesn't always mean that someone we've been in a romantic relationship with before, but it could be someone who we were friends with, or friends, or... what's that word? Acquaintances with, and now they're returning back in a romantic sense though. If they were romantic, they're returning back in a romantic sense. Jan says, how is October looking in terms of closeness and communication calls between us? So I feel like 1 or 2 calls in October, unfortunately, right now. Jasmine says, I had a dream this morning about a guy. Was this high-level soulmate that told me in a dream he'd find a way for us to be together? And what was this dream about? So, sorry, can you just clarify that for me? So, in the dream, the guy was the high-level soulmate, are you saying? You felt like he was, or he said that he was? Is that it? Miss Venus says, I feel like my abundance path has just unblocked big time. So now the love path is the only path that's continuing to be stagnant. When is it going to start unblocking and progressing like that too? Amazing! That is so great. And I was just wondering as well, when I was thinking about the Gateway of Light activation, I was thinking maybe a money spell. You know, maybe not tonight, but soon. Maybe a money spell. Because I do feel like, because the spells on stream are very small, you know, it's a group spell, the energy is like going outward to the group. I feel like we should keep them up a bit, maybe a bit more frequent to kind of reel in that energy, hone in that energy, if you will. But yeah, so I'm really happy to hear that about your abundance path. So I just wanted to, you know, be really happy about that. But let's see. When is it going to start unblocking and progressing like that too? The love path. Okay. So yeah, it is interesting because it really, like I said, but I do feel like I've gotten this a few times, but the energy feels like it could be so imminent. Like it feels like this person is like in your gravitational pull, you know? It feels like they are kind of gravitating around. Like I don't feel like they're super distant. I don't feel like there's no potential with them. Let me know what you think about the heart chakra message, because like I said, there could be some subconscious blocks there, only because you have like good boundaries, which is good, but just making sure that we're not too up, if that makes sense. Do think about that, because maybe that could help. But yeah, I mean, I'm very willing of, maybe we could do a love spell actually. Maybe a love spell would be better. I'm very willing of it because I see it, so it could be right there. So in terms of that, like, I don't really know how to say it, because other than that heart chakra message that came through, I don't necessarily feel such a block. But yeah, I don't feel a block, but of course it just doesn't come. So, you know, we're seeing it and it doesn't come, so there must be something there. It could be a good idea, it could be work on anything subconscious, any subconscious blocks, anything that's yeah, like in the background, like subconsciously blocking things, could be the way. Because it doesn't really seem like the path necessarily doesn't seem blocked, because it does seem like I said, this person's within your kind of orbit, so that they have the possibility to come in. It's just about really honing in on that. Esley, this is why someone sending me a gift without a signature. Okay. So it definitely does seem to be purposeful, like wanting it to be kind of that surprise energy. It does seem to be purposeful, sending it without the signature. So definitely not seeing like that's an accident. I do feel like it's purposeful, to kind of make you, maybe make like a bit of like surprise, a kind of mysterious energy surrounding that. Jan says, how are things between Caden and M lately? We saw after PAX that things kind of didn't change that much on his end outside. On some distance, however, MC's increasingly pushy and paranoid. Yeah, I think we already looked at this. Things seem pretty good. They do seem good with them. Alice says, oh my god, I hate bees. My horror. You hate bees? How? How can you hate bees? Oh, I love them. Oh, I might have missed some messages. My chat filter was top messages instead of all messages for some reason. So let me just see what's going on here. Oh, there we go. Miss Field says, 2 days ago I saw a symbol in my window again, very clearly. What were those symbols about? I could only write one down before they disappeared. So, there does seem to be like a variation of light language that you are channeling at the moment, but it does seem like prominently it's healing energy, and even more so, to go more into that, healing energy for throat and crown, so communication and higher energies. Kevin says, how does Mahia B think and feel about me? I feel a little too disconnected with him lately. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of a disconnect. It's like that positive but passive energy that I know I do talk about a lot, because when someone has positive thoughts for us but they're just not really concerned with us, we're kind of in the background of their mind, that's how it comes through. Jasmine, in the same dream I was with some girl, I think her name was Melanie. We were thinking about dating guys together. Who is she and what was or is her purpose? Okay, so can you, even if it has to be on Discord, if you can't do it here, can you message like the whole dream in one? Because maybe you did do that, but it might be how I accidentally filtered my chat. I'm not seeing these things together, so you could just go. So the best way, so guys, I'm really happy to do dream interpretation. I love dream interpretation, but it's really important to put what happened, of course, what happened, like who are the characters that were like real from real life, who are the characters that are dream characters, how it made you feel. So the emotions that you feel in the dream are important. And it's also important if any of those things, any locations, any situations, any people, were people that you've spoken to recently or seen online recently, any way that they might link to current events is also important as well, to get the full picture, if that makes sense. So Jan says, what is currently distancing Caden? We got last time that he's distracted at the moment, and that's why his thoughts on me haven't been surfacing. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely a distraction. It just feels like I'm focusing on this different path. That's all I really get with that. Ella says, today a wasp came into my house and I freaked out. I ended up hurting my finger while I tried to shut it out. But thank you for the message for the sweetening honey. Well, wasps. Yeah, I don't like wasps. I don't like wasps, but I like bees. I mean, it's not that I don't like wasps. I don't not like any animal, but or insect. But they're more like, like mosquitoes, wasps, worms, ones that are a bit more creepy or scary, but I really love bees. The bee was really, like, intelligent as well. Like, it was trying to get out the bottom part of the window, which was just glass, but as soon as I opened the blind and opened the window, it just went straight out. Like, it didn't need me to help, like, to guide it. It just went straight out. I was thinking, you're pretty smart. Maya says, how will Samuel feel when he notices I do not participate too much in his lives? I get like there is a little bit of upset, but it's really not too much of concern. Kevin, I have been trying to eat clean, not take coffee, walk more, but I feel bloated and not so slim tummy. What am I being guided to do? Am I overlooking something? Okay. Okay. Yeah, so there's definitely just the message. So first of all, there's like real coffee, like the difference between instant coffee and our real coffee. The real coffee is okay. It seems to be okay for you. Maybe minimizing how much you have of it, but it does seem to be okay. But also getting a message of minimizing carbs. So minimizing carbs as much as possible. Thank you, Jasmine. I just saw you sent something. I will look at that after the live. Kevin says, oh sorry, it's the same message. Bear with me, I need a tissue. I will be right back. I'll be 1 moment. Sorry, so Maya, how does Elizabeth feel when Elizabeth Ruiz felt when he saw my profile picture on TikTok? I'm not getting much of that. It's kind of like neutral energy, like so-so. Jan says, what does Caden think I currently feel for him? So he thinks there's still attraction, but he does think there's still attraction, he thinks there are still feelings, but there's definitely kind of an energy of not understanding the full extent, I would say. And Miss Venus, what was I doing energetically in my embodiment practice yesterday? Okay. Yeah, so there is two things. So I am still feeling this energy. It's like a little bit ongoing, that you are integrating some lesson from this past life or some ability maybe from this past life. But also there is a kind of closening that connection with your higher self as well. Jasmine, my truck is linked to me travelling for work with my nursing assistant job. Is this telling me to leave this job in the past too, since I can't get there now? Yeah, I definitely feel like there's new paths opening up all around, but I don't feel like leaving it is not imminent. It definitely feels like you should stay there for a little while. And Kita says, why did I feel someone around me while I was in the hotel room today? I felt super negative energy. Okay. Yeah, there's portal energy there that's being accessed by negative spirits, unfortunately, and this is very common in hotel rooms. Some hotels actually are purposefully set up for some occult practices, like astral travel practices. We did visit one actually in Barcelona, very near to this old church, and some of the rooms, the way they face, are purposely set up because people go there with intent to practice certain things. And we, like, stupidly, because every time I travel and go away anywhere, I always cleanse the room first now. But we didn't cleanse the room, we didn't cleanse the space we were in. And when my mother was sleeping, she got a entity attachment, and she got sick. She got a cold after that. Given to her by the entity, and that was really a lesson, because you really should, whenever you travel, whenever you go anywhere, Airbnb, booking.com, hotels, you should always cleanse the room that you're in. Jan, why did Caden have this thought about me, and did he have this thought while he was alone or with them? Alone. I do get alone. Kevin, after my training period in Capgemini, I will be selected for a project. Will I be selected for a project where I will have to Bangalore, Pune, Hyderabad, UK? I'm sorry if I can't pronounce that correctly. Europe, or is it Mumbai? Okay. So Bangalore and Europe are most prominent. Miss Venus, has my soulmate and I already crossed paths? Has he seen me or is aware of me? And if so, has that been in person or online? Yeah, so there has been very recently, or will be very recently. It's very in this current chapter. There's some like crossing paths in person, though it does seem to be in person, so it should be like within this chapter. I feel like it hasn't quite happened yet. I feel like it's going to be very, very soon. Jan, from the 23rd to 29th, have they hanged out? Yes, I get a yes on that. Maya, how did Elizabeth feel when he saw my profile? Oh yeah, I did that one. Kevin, when A talked and asked Tanya about me up front, what did they talk about specifically? Anything important I should know about? So it doesn't. So it does not like a lot of communication. It does really seem to be like sometimes he sometimes he tries to kind of hint at things. Like he might mention your name and something like, oh, you know, oh, who was there? Was X there? Was X there? Was Kevin there? You know, it's kind of this energy of maybe it's asking like the same thing about different people and including you as a way to get information about you without seeming very suspicious. Not suspicious, but you know what I mean, without giving it away that it's just asking about you. But it does seem to be very regular things, like what people have been up to, how people are, if people were at this certain place. Like if Tanya had been somewhere, he may say something like, oh, was this person there? Was this person there? Were you there? You know? So it does seem to be very kind of subtle. Jasmine, the angel that I made go away, the angel that I made go away a bit ago, did it come back, and what angel was it, and why was it around? Okay. I'm not getting anything for that. I'm not getting anything for that. Do you have any more information on that, or a name, or anything like that? Because I'm not picking that up, unfortunately. Jancy's, what are David's thoughts and feelings and intentions with me? He is a friend I made and has been asking to hang out with me lately. Yeah, I would say like a friendly, likeable energy with physical attraction. And Kita, was there any negative energy around me today? Is it still with me? Okay. So it does seem like you've absorbed a little bit. You don't have an attachment, so I'm not seeing attachment. So I don't think it's with you, like continuously with you when you're like out and about, if that makes sense. But I do feel like you've picked up a little bit of negative energy from that. So there's some negative energy within your aura, but you haven't picked up an attachment as such. Kevin, what are Tanya's thoughts about me having feelings for A? Does she think we are compatible if this can work? Okay. So I don't feel any negative energy around knowing, but I do feel like there's not really a feeling of it working out or being compatible. Miss Venus, a few days ago, a bird flew too close to my window towards the roof and it hit something on its way. It happened 2 days in a row and I heard it walking around on the roof in the morning. Is there a meaning to this? Yeah, so the bird message at the moment, the reason why the bird seems to be more prominent, it does seem to be kind of like a message. So it's like hinting at this message that you got in the dream. So it's kind of like, if you don't get the message in the dream, if you don't remember the message in the dream, you're getting these bird symbols, these bird signs, to try to prompt you to that message, to try to make you have these memories of this past life. So it's almost like, you might even notice that other places you go, you might see more, I don't know, you know, it could be anything. People with bird tattoos, people wearing bird things, you know. It could be anything bird related, you know. A coffee shop with the name of a bird, you know, something like that. But it's like you're being pointed to that to give you these memories back, you know, to make sure you are having these memories in any way. So Maya says, how is the friendship of Anna Sophia and Elizabeth? I think Elizabeth envies her, okay? Yes, I have to agree with you on that. So I'm just going to put finishing up in the chat. But like I said, like I always say, you're very welcome to post after, keep posting your questions. If I can get past that mark, I will. But it's just like a marker to say just in case. So if, yeah, so I'll try to answer everything before that. If I don't get to anything after that, I do apologise, but I'm going to keep up now with coming on a lot more regularly. So like I said, probably 5 times a week will be the frequency. Just finding where I'm up to, sorry. Jan, has Caden recently spied on my socials and games? If so, how did he feel looking through them? Has he noticed I have been hanging out with others? So I guess a no on that, actually. Jasmine says, with me noticing the frequent... With me noticing the frequent spiritual activity going on in my mother's home recently, is it due to my senses getting stronger, or is it just noticeable regardless? If my senses are heightening, will I eventually be able to see spirits full and outright, and if so, when? So straight away I'm getting confirmation that is your senses heightening, and it's not like it would be super obvious to everyone, if that makes sense. Like maybe people who are in a similar like boat as you spiritually. But you do get positive energy with that, with your senses heightening. But the other question, sorry, will you be able to see spirits full on outright, and if so, when? So at the moment, I'm getting that it won't be full on seeing them, but it will be, you will have clarity about what the things you are picking up. So if you get an auditory message, you'll be very firm and confident that it's correct and who it's from. So it's more about your clarity heightening and you being very sure of what you're getting, rather than, you might see like full spirits in dreams and maybe even trance-like states, but in like normal kind of everyday life, it will be more like visions, auditory messages, things like that. But you'll be a lot clearer and sure that it's correct and what it is, if that makes sense. Kevin says there was a soulmate. Oh, sorry, and you said when for that as well. Yeah, so with that, the actual clarity of being very confident in what you're getting, I feel like that will be more towards the end of the year. But I do feel like you are going to have quite a, that upward trajectory that we talk about in other areas as well. I do feel like you will have that, and that is kind of coming for you. So Kevin says, there was a soulmate card which I got as a future card for me in the love reading. Who is this person? Any description? Do I know them? Okay. So for this, I'm still seeing that female with the dark hair who you haven't met yet. So I'm still seeing that same person that we have seen. And Kita says card of your choice for me. We'll do a spirit animal. Feel a bit animal themed today with the birds message and the bees. Birds and the bees. So you have a bird as well. You have vulture spirit. Nothing is wasted. So when we tap into the vulture spirit, it is all about that, using everything that we have, not wasting things. So you can be very creative as well with things that maybe you would usually discard, so it's about making sure everything is utilized, everything is used, using the old things around your house. Maybe you make extra money from selling the old things around your house. It's just about using everything, not wasting anything, and really being mindful about that. And if you are someone who wants to minimize, or you want to be more savvy, things like that, you can tap into the vulture spirit. So don't feel like the vulture spirit is negative, because it's not. It's a really great spirit to tap into for just not wasting anything, using absolutely everything that we can, and being more efficient, I guess. So Druid Wisdom for Kevin. Oh, you have Stonehenge as your picture. Stonehenge! There is power in forgiveness and silent intent. You will always receive joyfully what you truly respect. Carry or wear a natural Lemurian quartz for trust, healing, and deep understanding. So that's a nice one. Venus says, O was flirting with me last week about me coming over and cuddling with me, and said I would love that, but then he doesn't actually ask me to meet up. Why is he not asking me to go directly? Okay. So it's actually interesting because that root, that block that we had seen with his root, where there was something like, it was something like money worries or something going on with the home, like maybe he was moving in or moving out, or there was something that wasn't quite coming through, but it was something being sorted with the root in terms of, you know, it wouldn't be possible, maybe monetary wise, or maybe if you had like a housemate or something like that, maybe it's not super possible. But it seems like this, whatever this issue is kind of coming to an end now. So it's still on the minds at the moment. It still might be a reason for delaying or pushing things, or, you know, not quite finalizing things at the moment, but actually seems like that's coming to an end. So that's quite nice as well. So we may see more asking directly as this comes to an end. I do feel like that is kind of a purpose for it, but again, with that kind of mirroring energy where sometimes he's feeling like you're not super interested, I do feel like that plays a part as well. But I don't think it's an excuse, because, you know, if you want to think, right, are we doing this or are we not, just do it. Just meet up, see how it goes. Maybe it goes bad, maybe you decide not to go on that path, but I do think you should just do it. I can see the kind of things that are going on there, but I don't really think they're an excuse. I still think he could do it, you know? It's almost like he's using them as an excuse, you know? Or a delay. Spirit animal for Ankita. Oh, you have the panther spirit. Panther? Reclaim your power. Reclaim your power. So sometimes we've someone else has drained our energy, or a situation. You know, sometimes work takes our power away, because after work all we want to do is just rest and not do anything. So sometimes reclaiming your power is about not putting your whole energy into that, and just putting your whole energy into yourself, or into your relationships or your creative projects or something like that, but you're reclaiming your power in some way, not allowing others to drain you, and maybe being in a leadership energy or having more confidence or something like that. But if you want to reclaim your power in any of those ways, whether it's just taking back your energy from something that's drained you, or whether it is even higher, like leadership or confidence, tap into the panther spirit. S. Leela says, do you feel any blockages in my energy? Okay. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a block in the third eye, and I would say the main issue is around the sacral area. Kevin says, Tanya said that A told her that Kevin has been weird and acts weird around him. Did Tanya believe her? Did she defend me? What did they talk after that? This happened last week. Yeah, so there just seems to be two things. So one of them is asking a bit more about it, trying to get more information about what he really meant with that. But the other one is defending you. So there is a bit of defending you energy there, luckily. So that's quite nice to see. That's what we want our friends to do. But it does seem like, it seems a little bit as well like Tanya kind of brushed it off as well. So it didn't really develop into a really deep conversation about you. But there was a bit of defending you, so that is nice. Jan says, is there a reason why she still thinks that we are talking, or is it just because Caden is still rejecting I'm platonic with her, and she thinks it's because he has feelings for me? I feel like there isn't a reason behind it. I feel like it's just a little bit of paranoid energy, and knowing that you've spoken in the past. Maya, will I make new friends soon? Yeah, and I do feel like there's something coming, like in a work. It could be a work scenario or collaboration for something to do with work. There's a friend coming up there. And Kita says, was it that annoyed Mono liked fed up? I remember we were talking normally, suddenly he stopped replying. What is it that annoyed? Okay. There's almost like a feeling drained energy, like feeling like maybe there's like a miscommunication, because it feels like there's just feel a little bit like feeling like maybe you wanted a bit of attention, like more attention than he's willing to give. Like we all want, like when we're communicating, we all want attention, so I don't mean it in like a attention seeking way, but I mean it in kind of like maybe you wanted to communicate more than he wanted to communicate. Maybe you wanted to you know, yeah, talk a bit more consistently or something like that, and there's kind of like a not wanting to give that much energy or attention away at this moment. Jasmine says, has Phil read my email? If so, what are his thoughts and feelings regarding this? I guess a no at the moment, unfortunately. And Keita says, how does Em feel about me now? Does she miss me and want to talk? I don't feel like there's wanting to talk yet, but there is missing you, yes. Miss Venus, what did my twin flame think of the conversation we were having about my abilities? There does seem to be a little bit of questioning how serious you are. So there seems to be a little bit of like, is this a little bit lighthearted? Is this a bit jokey, or is it fully? Is she fully into this? You know, it's kind of like questioning that. But I don't feel like there's a negative energy around it. I feel like it's just a, like a questioning, like a not confusion as such, but maybe a bit of confusion. But yeah. So, but I don't feel a negative energy around it. I feel like it's more intrigue than negative, but it's like intrigue, but wondering how serious you are. So I hope that makes sense. Jan says, whenever he comes back around and communicates with me again, will we keep up the communication, and will he ghost me for a time period again? The prominence is just too small for me to really get into specifics with her, because that path's very small. It's like, in the possibility that he communicates again, you know, it's like, it just seems like at the moment the possibility of the communication coming back up very strong and very consistent and very positive just seems pretty low. So unfortunately, it's, you know, it's all ifs and buts, and I know a lot of things are ifs and buts because energies can change, but this just seems too narrow, if that makes sense. It feels a little bit more like the ghosting is more prominent, unfortunately, right now. Kevin, how will my sprint presentation go in October? Any guidance for me for this? So there's definitely an energy around not overlooking preparation. It's like really pushing this energy of preparation, like really focus on preparation, and confidence as well. I am feeling, but at the same time, there's positive energy around it. I really don't feel like you need much. I don't feel like you need much in terms of substance in there, but it's like making sure you're really focused on it and preparing for it, making sure everything's organized, if that makes sense, and then the confidence comes up as well. And the confidence is like confidence in what you're doing, but also in yourself, like that you can manifest, you know? Miss Venus, is O interested in pursuing someone else or just interested in me? I feel like the possibility of other people is coming up. The idea of maybe other people is coming up. But it's not like there's a specific person right now that there's focus on. But there is kind of idea of this might not be the way. Maybe there is another way. It's almost like thinking like that. It's on the mind, but it's not. There's not a physical person and communication that it's with. That's how it feels. Sorry. Jan, Mama Caden starts a distance from her. It just doesn't seem very prominent. Like, maybe there's a possibility of it, but I just don't really see it. I feel like the connection's better, the connection's stronger, unfortunately. Arumi says, in my recent love reading, can you describe the person that I'll have to make effort with, okay? So medium height, seeing light coloured hair. I would say, it's funny because like medium height, average build. So I'm seeing that it's very kind of like an average kind of build and height. But the hair I'm seeing quite light coloured hair. Maybe I'd say like light brown, maybe a bit blonde-ish. I'm seeing. I think eyes are hazel or green, but I'm also getting like very casual dress sense, like very casual, you know? Yeah. I feel like maybe you already know them. If you don't already know them, it's possible that you'll come in contact pretty soon. Like you'll cross paths, come in contact, pretty soon, because there is kind of an energy of, it seems familiar. There's a familiar energy as well that comes through. Kevin says a love card for A. So sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. So, leave your fears behind. They are stopping this relationship from blossoming. So any fears that you have, of course, we're always guided to release our fears. It's not good to store them in the solar plexus usually, but it depends. If we have a lot of anxiety on our fears, they can be stored in the solar plexus. But if we're overthinking about them constantly, they can be stored in the third eye. So just think about that. If they're subconscious, they might be in the solar plexus. Miss Venus, why did I see these negative wire-ins? What was that a test, or what was it? Yeah, so in that past life, it definitely was a part of the test, because you know all those kind of things that we go through generally are tests in those lifetimes. But I don't, in this lifetime, like seeing it in this lifetime, I don't feel like that's a test. I feel like that's more the things that you're integrating. So you might notice that you have like a new ability or a heightened ability or a heightened strength or a release of some fear or something, because you're integrating the positive aspects of you from that reality. Arumi, can you describe the person I'll be reconciling with or meeting again? So I'm not really getting much come through for that one. I'm seeing dark hair and I'm feeling like they're older than you. They're kind of the messages that are coming through with that one. It does feel like they're older than you, or maybe they're like super mature in some way. There's definitely like an older energy coming through there. But I'm not really getting too much of that one. Jasmine, going back off on the topic of my business, I had pics of the cemetery where my grandparents were buried at in my listing. Was this driving in traffic, or was it also because my grandparents were helping? I definitely feel like grandparents helping. I feel like you do have a lot of, like, you have guides and everything, as you know, but I feel like a lot of the real help on your path does come from those past spirits that you've either known or are getting to know now, that they're, you know, in that realm and you can connect with them. Maya, how did Elizabeth feel today when he heard Matthias Leonardo talking with Anna Sophia? I am getting a bit of that envy come through there. Venus, my friend Fatima is with me and she is asking if you could please check the crystal ball. How does Parsa feel about her, and why did he block her on Instagram, please? Okay, so I will do this, but guys, please bear in mind that this is a members stream, so really it's the questions are for the members. So the reason why it's member stream and not just subscribers is because we are you know, giving extra time to the members because they pay for it. So of course I will do it. Ellie, you don't get many questions, you don't ask many questions, and I've already connected with your friends, and your friends is very lovely. So I'm happy to do it, but I just have to say that because, you know, we can't have everybody coming in saying like, oh, ask this question for this person and this question for this person. Otherwise, it might as well just be an open stream for subscribers. So don't mean to like call you out or single you out, but it's just a reminder of that, you know. I don't really mind asking for things for friends. I'm always happy to do that. But just bear in mind that the members, you know, is for members. So maybe that could be a little bit more on the subscriber streams. But of course, I will do it. Asking if you could please check the crystal ball. How does Paul Sarr feel about her, and why did she block her on Instagram? Okay. It actually seems like there's connection with somebody else, and they have encouraged this blocking, unfortunately, so that's what's coming through. So I'm sorry to say that. Jan, wait, so Caden is wanting to go down the path with M despite them not being romantically compatible. Last time we saw, he did not want to go down any path or anything having to do with romance. Yeah, I still don't feel like there's a lot of romantic energy, but I definitely feel like it's coming through. There's definitely a growth coming through from platonic. I definitely feel like it's progressing, and it looks like here we have I can see the super sticker there, but it's not here, but we greatly appreciate that. So love, light and blessings, Maya, thank you so much, because I greatly appreciate all support to the channel. It does mean a lot, because although I don't mind, like even before my YouTube was monetized, I love coming on, you know, I would do sometimes a 6-hour streams, so I'm really happy to stream without anything. But, you know, having members, having super chats, having super stickers, I just really greatly appreciate it. It means so much to me. And the support does help, of course, as I am coming on here, like spending a lot of time. It helps, and I'm so grateful for it. So I just want you to know, you know, how grateful I am for it. Even though I still love to do it without that. But I am really grateful, so thank you so much. Kevin says, Maya, how would Samuel feel if I take distance from him? There's definitely a feelings beginning to come from more forefront and grow again, and wanting to get you back if you take distance. So it's almost like that twin flame energy where when we go away, they come to us. When we go away, they come to us. When they go away, we chase them. It's that kind of energy, you know? Kevin, does A think or feel that Tanya tells me everything about what he does in class sometimes? No, I get a no on that. Jan says, will Caden go back to not wanting anything to do with romance, and if so, when will this be? Getting a no on that, actually. Maya says, the other uncle of my mother will notice soon that she will try to own the inheritance of Uncle Hernan. The inheritance should go to the other uncles. How will they react? So I do get a yes on that, and but I see some attempt to talk things through quite fairly, quite calmly. So I do see some attempt at that. Yeah. So it does look like it could be spoken about calmly and fairly. So hopefully that will happen. Jasmine says, is there a particular legal representative regarding custody coming up in the board that I need to seek out, and if so, who? Right now, I do not have the money to pay for a lawyer, okay? So a name is coming through right away, and that is Jones. So I don't know if that resonates with you, or if that is something you could search, but that's coming out like straight away. Jan says, if you think they would somehow get into a relationship, is it doomed to fail, not just because they aren't romantically compatible, but M needs 24/7 attention, and that is a natural source of conflict? I wouldn't necessarily say it's doomed to fail, but I do feel like that attention issue that you're mentioning, I do feel like it is a problem. Like, I really do recognise that. I do feel like it will be a problem. Miss Venus says, I guess a lot of past love coming back and courtship lately. Why is that? What is this referring to? How would Ori... Oh, sorry. I thought that was a continuation. Okay. So the reason for this does seem to be because all of your romantic focuses are past people. It's you know you're focusing on sometimes C, sometimes the twin flame. They're all past people that having your most prominent focus, and it makes sense because you can't. How strongly can you focus on someone that you don't know yet? I understand it, but it does seem like a lot of your kind of energy goes there, or a lot of your emotion, or maybe just thought processes and energy maybe not too much emotion, but it does seem like a lot of that is directing to the past more than the future. So that does seem to be why. Oh, it skipped me to the bottom. It just skipped me right down. Very strange. Oh, I do. I'm so confused. I've seen that. Oh yeah. How would O I think that's... Yes. How would O react if I ask him to tell him... If I ask him and tell him how I feel, would he feel pressured and withdraw? So the being pressured and withdrawing, it seems like a possibility, but it seems very low prominence. It seems a lot more like there's openness to conversation. It feels a lot more like there's openness to conversation, so it's actually quite positive. Yeah, I feel like there might not be like a full resolution of like, oh yeah, we plan this date or we fully decide that, but I do feel like open for discussion. Miss Venus says, does this new soulmate go to my gym? Lol. Okay, let's check. So I'm not getting confirmation on the gym, but I am getting confirmation that they do. There's some energy of them being somewhere nearby. If it's not the gym, it is somewhere within that vicinity. So there's definitely an energy of them being somewhere. It might not be the gym, but it's that area. So that's positive. Hopefully. Do you already know the soulmate like with C? It doesn't feel like already know them. There might be something like, oh, I saw them on people you might know, you know, or you know, on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it might be when you see the suggestions. Or I think if they're familiar, I think I've passed them. So, like that, but I don't feel like knowing them, like having communication or anything. Jan, is there a time frame for me feeling better with things about Caden? Are you still getting reassurance from the ball over distant future between things with me and Caden turning around? I'll see prominence of things turning around because we already did the feeling better earlier. Yeah, I see possibility for things turning around, but it seems very distant future. Kevin says, what is the percentage for me to get a project in Europe after my training period? Any time frame or percentage? So I'm not getting a time frame, but I'm getting 80% prominence. Miss Venus says, I got bit by a freaking mosquito this weekend in my right hand. Are we on 2 hours? The music has stopped because we're on 2 hours. Let's play a game. Okay. So, this weekend in my right hand, and it's super swollen, hurt, and made my whole arm feel weird. Did I clear this energy off of my system yesterday during my embodiment? So I'm actually getting a no on that. But it seems like you have cleared it, but it seems like I feel like it was before. Actually feeling like it was before that. So, of course, you could still be having physical feelings with that, unfortunately, which I really hate to hear that. But it seems like you managed to clear that out quite quickly, energetically. Perhaps your guides help with that, maybe. So anything energetically or spiritually, you seem to clear quite quick with that. Very sorry, though, if you're still getting physical symptoms, issues with that. Jasmine says, can I send you another dream I had on Discord? I only type out bits and pieces of all of my dreams on here because it's too much. I know, that's what I'm saying. It is too much to type out. So, yeah. So, yes, Jasmine, absolutely, of course. Jan, which days have they hanged out between 23rd and 29th? Kind of feeling intuitively like 24 and 25, maybe 29th. I'm getting 24, 26, and 29. That's what I'm getting. Kevin says, why do I feel so much drawn to A lately and me longing towards him? Do I still need healing? Yeah, I definitely feel like healing is needed. I feel like you are being pushed onto a better path where you'll get more of what you deserve because, you know, the energy is there, but he's not living up to it. So, you know, we do have to cut ties at some point when people don't live up to it. Let's see. Jasmine says going back to an angel a few streams ago. Told you I saw an apparition overnight. It also made it go away because I couldn't decipher if it was malevolent or not. I was asking did it come back, if you could pick up exactly what angel it was. Okay. Okay. Okay, so something is coming through, but it's not full. Let me actually, I'm going to skip off this and just go to Discord for a moment, because I do want to look into this further, and I am finishing soon. A little screenshot of me at the bottom there. Angel, you saw, and I guess castaway. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but that will remind me, that'll prompt me at least. Okay. So my chat is being really strange. There we go. Now I can see the super chat. I just don't get it. Strange. Yeah. So I do apologise for. So I really apologise for skip questions because my chat's being filtered very strangely. Like I can tell because the streaming software has the chat on the side, but it's a very small box. So you can't really make much bigger, and it's not as good as like here I can hold where I'm up to. It's not as good at that. So I can see that there are messages that I've skipped. Like I couldn't even see the super chat, but I just can't find them on here. It's like I can filter my chat by top messages, all messages, or fan funding. Now I put it on all messages all the time, but it seems to have skipped to top messages. So I don't understand. I mean, you can't even really have top messages on this stream because you're all members. So every single person is a paying member, so it doesn't make sense. So yeah, I have skipped some. I know I've skipped some, but it's difficult to like not do it because I can't. It's just how it's filtering it. So I really do apologize if I skip some. Let me see here. I did answer the Twin Flame thing about the conversation of having abilities. I did answer that one. Do you see things with O dying down, or do you see him coming back up again and trying again? Okay, I'll do that. At the moment, the energy definitely is more in the dying down energy. I feel like, I don't feel like it's directly linked to you. I do feel like there's some energy around him, that deflated energy, like he's kind of giving up, even though it doesn't really make sense. You know, it's almost like he just kind of feels like it's been too long, it's taken too long, it's like, is this ever going to happen? But it's like, he can make it happen, he can do it, so it's kind of like, it's almost like a cognitive dissonance where he is kind of giving up even though he could make it happen. But we do get like that deflated energy around it. At the moment it seems more like dying down is a bit more prominent, but we know what the connection with you guys is like, and we know that that energy has come up before where it seems most likely you would separate, and that never happened. I do feel like you could overcome that, things might change with that. That's just how it seems at the moment. That's the energy at the moment. Thank you for the cute emojis, I greatly appreciate that. Aromi says, I think they make the effort person and reconciliation person are the same then. Yeah, the only thing that's interesting with that is it seemed like darker hair and lighter hair. But yeah, it would make more sense if they were the same. It would make more sense if they were the same. I feel like, kind of remembering the love reading a little bit. Eslila says, does Adrian know that we are twin flames? I guess a no on that one. No, so Miss Venus, okay. So it was, for that one, it was, so the energy that came through about the abilities, it was like, not knowing whether he was taking you fully seriously. Like, he didn't know if you were being fully serious or it was kind of in jest a little bit. Like, the level of seriousness he didn't really know. It was kind of like, is she really being super serious about that or is she not? But there was also an intrigue as well. So it's kind of a little bit like, how serious is she about these things? But being intrigued as well came through. I remember that. I recall that. So you don't have to skip back if you're still here. Hopefully you hear that. So yeah, so we are at time anyway, so we are going to end it for today. But if there were any questions skipped, I do apologise about the filtering of the messages today. So, yeah, sorry. So if any messages were skipped, the next, like I said, let me just go back to that post a second. The next crystal ball that's scheduled at the moment likely is going to be early on Thursday. So when I say early, it's like noon to 2 p.m. GMT. But tomorrow, so it all depends. Like, you know, this is why things can't be super strictly scheduled. It does all depend on my one-on-one sessions and my readings. But if we can, there can be a crystal ball maybe tomorrow evening or yeah, tomorrow evening's like this week's looking like the only really evening available time that might come up. So we'll see how much I can get through of my one-on-one things this evening and tomorrow. And like I said, I'm going to do an early stream tomorrow, like maybe a bone reading or a bone reading probably. But if this evening time, we will do a crystal ball. So because I don't want to do too many early crystal balls, I want to alternate them, and there will be an early one on Thursday. So if we can do a later one tomorrow, even if we can only do an hour tomorrow, we'll do that, and that will just be for everyone, not just members. And also, the one thing I did want to say, if I do manage to come back in about 2 hours' time, would you prefer Gateway of Light activation or Matchstick reading? I'm leaning towards Gateway of Light. If for those of you who haven't seen it, do I have it close by? It should be around here somewhere. No, I don't have it to hand. I'll have to look for it. But I'm still getting into that. I haven't had any practice with that one off stream yet, so it would mean a lot to me to get some practice in. So that's what I'm thinking. So yeah, I might jump on with that. So, but anyway, let me know on that post. So you can comment on that post if there's one that you would really particularly prefer over the other, because I do have to jump off for now. But Miss Venus says Gateway of Light, so that's great. I'm kind of leaning to that as well, because Matchstick's not as good as Crystal Ball, and we've just had Crystal Ball. So yeah, I would say maybe Gateway of Light. But anyway, so I'm trying my best to keep you as updated as I can in the post section, but the members' streams will always be scheduled. So the next member stream is on Saturday evening. We might have a poll for the time of it, but Saturday will be a members channeling. If you have a preferred time for Saturday, let me know, and let me know your time zone. If you have a preferred time for it, because I'm going to schedule that. So on Saturday there will be the first members channeling of October. So yeah, you can just comment on the most recent post, the one about the streams, just anything that I'm asking here. If you want to be involved in the Gateway of Light, let me know. And if you have a time that you prefer the members channeling to be on Saturday, please do let me know, because I'm really trying to, there will be 2 anyway, at least 2. But if we can get as many people on the Saturday one as possible, that would be great. So, but yes. So love, light, and blessings to each of you. Really hope to see you soon. Don't be shy about reaching out to me. And yeah, love, light, and blessings. Really nice to connect with you.